Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Pro Real Estate YouTube channel here, where we talk about building teams and how to crush it in real estate with teams. Today, I have Jake Rockwell and Kevin Hawkins, who both are crushing it in the real estate space with their teams. Jake is on pace to sell nearly 500 homes a year. Kevin and his team did over 100 transactions in the last year, and they both realigned their independent brokerages and made them into teams. Today, we're going to discuss why. Kevin, thanks for joining us on the call.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I love this topic. It's a bit of a crazy thing to think about, but I mean, Jake did it. Jake's the reason why I did it. And man, I'm excited to talk about it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey, and before we jump in, why don't you give us a little bit of a background about who you are? I know I introduced it just on the skim of it, but why don't you give us a tad bit about who you are, how you got started, and what you're doing now?
And don't forget to like the channel, hit the subscribe button, and so forth.
Absolutely. Okay, so I got into real estate when I was 21. I'm 33 years old now, so I've been in for about 12 years. I started at a Remax and then quickly transitioned to a boutique company. And after about 6 or 7 years, I decided to open my own brokerage. And so I had my own private brokerage for 5 years. And then at a certain point, I realized that I couldn't grow anymore. I needed more resources. I needed more training. I wanted to limit my liability. And that's when I ran into Jake, and we'd really started talking about taking our businesses to the next level. And so that's when I decided to realign with EXP and take my business from a traditional brokerage where I was the broker into a team leader.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I remember that day. I mean, it was, about a year ago, you reached out to me, and we're just kind of looking at, what you're doing and what I've been doing. And and we're always changing and adjusting and figuring out what's going to be the best path forward for our companies. And yeah, and I think I remember when in a big part of it was you had an independent brokerage where your production was the bulk of that business, and you're like, Jake, how do you do more, because you can't get more time in the day? How do you do more? And so as a brokerage owner, where your agents are getting you're getting a piece of commission off of that, obviously, but if the bulk of the income's coming from your production, then it's really your brokerage it's your production that's lifting it, right?
Awesome.
And so kind of, I think a big part of any successful business is having clarity of what does your business look like, where's income going, where are expenses going, and that was something that I wasn't super good at. And so kind of taking this time to audit my business, and every broker should be doing this regularly, not annually, but regularly, auditing, where is value coming, and where is the business being taxed? Where not just where are the expenses, but where is our time being taxed? Where is our energy being taxed? What are the draws back to this business? And I was really feeling, not necessarily so much financially, but I was really feeling drawn, like I was just being pulled in every different direction of in which way I was just getting worn out. I had been doing this for 5 years. I'm like, I'm doing 50 deals a year personally. I'm being a team lead. I'm being a broker to my new agents who need me. They need my time. They need my resources. And then all the other things that go along with a business was just too much. It wasn't impossible, but it was just more than I really wanted to do. And so transitioning my company to a team really allowed me to win in 4 big ways. And I can just plow through them really fast, so we can kind of talk about it if you like. But
yep.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. I mean, I had the same issue. I had 10 agents. I was a brokerage owner, and I was getting pulled. And as an independent brokerage owner, you don't have a lot of the systems, the things which you're probably going to bring up. And it's like you're running everywhere, right? And so, and mine was a little bit different because we were a brokerage running as a team, so it was a little bit different on the financial model, but not really any different on the rest of it.
Yeah, and there's 1,000,001 models of a team these days, and so depending on how you want to skin it, you can call a traditional model could be a team, but ultimately my agents were basically each operating their own little business, and we transitioned to more of a unified one direction, really trying to all impact each other's businesses. And the team model is special because I get to impact my agents and not necessarily just give money away, and they get to impact my business in the same way. So it's one goal moving forward. It especially made sense. It wouldn't have made as much sense just becoming a team for me. Or at least I would have had a hard time getting my mind around it. I was able to shell off a ton of duties and leverage EXP. And I know not everybody's an EXP fan, but for me, that was a linchpin for me, where I was really able to start leveraging all of this, other people's time, money, resources, all these people that EXP has. I was able to start leveraging that and stop having to spend my own time, money, and resources doing it. And so I found, just on a basic level, I was going to make more money. I mean, doing the exact same thing, but transitioning to EXP as a team was going to create a larger, there's going to be more money on the bottom line, which for me was like, hey, that's a win. The next one was that I got to keep my brand. Keeping my brand while joining with more resources was absolutely essential. I wouldn't have come over if I couldn't have kept the identity that we created. I know this is important for you, Jake.
I remember having that conversation with you. I was like, no, the good news is they want you to brand yourself.
Well, I didn't even want to believe it. I was like, I can't do it. I've worked so hard to create this brand. I've worked so hard to create this atmosphere. I'm not willing to give it up.
Oh man, you're preaching to the choir. Jake Rockwell, he has the Rockwell group on everything: mugs, cell phone chargers, hats, golf balls, yeah, everything, man. If it can hold the logo, it's on there, man.
That's what these agents are, right? We're only as good as the environment we've created for ourselves. Now, so that was big. Keeping my brand was huge. The next one was I got to limit my legal liability. That made me sleep better at night. I was no longer liable for my agents' mishaps. I could strictly focus on supporting them and not necessarily give them advice that might stifle them, but just give them good, solid advice. That was an amazing win for me. And then last but not least, the resources. The amount of resources that came through with going to a team with EXP allowed me to create way more momentum, have way more training, and way more support. And so those are my big four. I mean,
yeah, and I would add a fifth one that for me, when we made that change, because we were rocking as our independent brokers. I think at that point we were doing a couple hundred transactions, 250 transactions, and the agents, especially the main agents on our team, they're like, "What? You're gonna do what? Why would you make a change when everything's going great?" Well, it came down to wanting to give more, because I couldn't give the agents a piece of ownership of my company. Mm-hmm. I couldn't give them a piece of the revenue. I mean, I guess I could have, but not financially. And I couldn't give them the training. I could do maybe an hour or two a week and train them how to, one hour, train them how to write contracts, the other hour, train them how to go get business. And so I don't think people realize how much they should be looking at their brokerage for leveraging it. How much are you leveraging your brokerage when you're at X, Y, and Z brokerage? How much are you being able to draw from that brokerage to provide value to you and your team members? And so for me, it was really, how can I give more to my team members? And now they all get a piece of ownership of obviously the main brokerage. They get a piece of revenue if they want. If they want to be a mentor and provide coaching to other new agents, then they can earn income that way. There's more opportunity that takes this out of their business, right? And so I think that was huge for me. I mean, that was, it wasn't all about what it did for me, but it was a lot about what it was offering to the agents and showing them some more value than what they were already getting.
Yeah, I like that you added that, Jake. I've been speaking to quite a bit of brokerage owners that actually have brought their brokerage over to EXP Realty. And one guy said that exact same thing. He said, when we were over in Las Vegas for EXPCon, he said, there came a point where I looked at EXP, I looked at EXP, and I felt guilty because I knew with my brokerage, at the end of the day, myself and my family were going to be okay, but my agents were going to most likely be stuck on the perpetual hamster wheel, selling real estate until they were 70, 80 years old. With EXP Realty, recapping everything you just said, I'm able to give them that opportunity too. They can become a broker owner, if you will, within a brokerage and operate as one if they would like to take up on that opportunity. So I think that was a huge point, what you just said. being able to give your team members more. Kevin, what are your thoughts with that?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a great point. And it really, I mean, like people want to think, especially when they see all these companies coming to EXP, that something screwy. They want to think the brokers are selling out their agents, but it's
That's the other
quite
company. That's the other
yeah,
company.
yeah,
No one's
it's
writing any checks to get them to come over.
I mean, that's the funny thing is the magnetism to this company is truly because it makes sense for everybody. I mean, the brokers, team leaders, they win, but guess what? The agents win too. I mean, not that we need to go through like how much money people are making or getting back through EXP, but you're talking about significant ownership, not like $500 a year or even $1,000 a year. You're talking about thousands of dollars every year given back to productive agents to say thank you. I mean, like,
Yeah,
it's wild. It's totally wild.
yeah, and I don't necessarily, I don't want to, obviously this isn't a recruiting video about EXP. We're talking about converting brokerages to teams, and there's ways to convert a brokerage to a team model within your own brokerage or to another brokerage or whatever. I'm not saying EXP is right for everyone, although I think that every broker on the planet should be with the company. That's just my opinion. I'm a little biased, but it's, yeah, I think that if you leverage this company or any company, right, as long as that company allows you to leverage them. Not all company allows you to leverage your brand. Not all companies allow you to have a piece of the ownership or stock incentives or whatever. But if you leverage, you should be able to leverage your company, your brokerage enough to where it really doesn't cost you to be at that brokerage. And even better, you should be getting paid. If you're a producing agent, you should be making more than what you're paying out. So if you're paying out $20,000 a year in fees, you should be getting paid more than $20,000 a year from your brokerage. And that is the beauty of what EXP can offer at this brokerage. And there may be some other brokerages that do the same, but this is the one we found.
And there's a whole nother video here where Jake and I should really kind of go into what models are working for us outside of EXP, but just in the team version, how to actually, what you can consider in regards to, hey, stay where you're at. If you're happy at your brokerage, stay there forever. That's what I say. But if you want, there's still many benefits to the team model because there's more revenue opportunities and there's more growth when you have, or growth available when you have a unified goal. So, I mean, that's a whole nother thing, but yeah.
When you start a team, you get off the hamster wheel. I mean, you can only sell 50 to 100 houses without any help, and until you get off that wheel, you're still in Kiyosaki's quadrant 2. You're still self-employed. You're not a business owner. So
love
awesome.
It, guys. Unified goal, a rising tide raises all ships. That's
Kevin is a rock star. It was really, really awesome that we got together. We got to spend some time down in Arizona with our families last year. I know that we're looking forward to getting together again sometime in the next few weeks. And yeah.
It's all about camaraderie. It's all about finding people that you can relate to and that can help grow. I mean, that's it. Like Jake is truly one of the most valuable mentors to me. And I am always on the lookout, as I know he is, for people that want to see you grow and better yourself. That's what this is all about.
So what are your thoughts on eating lots of vegetables? Just kidding.
Rabbit food? I mean, for certain creatures, I suppose it's great.
If you're a hunter, you're going to really be able to connect with Kevin too. So anybody that wants to talk to Kevin or myself, want to pick our brains on what we're doing, how we're doing it, we can dive deep into how we're running our teams. We're not saying that our way is the only way. It's just a way that's been working, obviously, for us. We'd love to share. We'd love to collaborate. And, you just got to click the link below, reach out to us, reach out to Kevin, and we'll jump on Zoom like this with you and help you however we can. So,
yeah, guys. So all of his information will be in the description below. Jake's calendar link will be in the description below. So if you want to book a call, jump on the call with us. It's easy as clicking on the link and getting that book. Remember, comment, like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for any future episodes. Gentlemen, thank you guys for your time. You guys absolutely crushed this conversation, and I look forward to probably a couple more videos with Kevin because he has a lot of knowledge to share on the topic.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
All right. Take care, guys.